Welcome to this tutorial about how to get started with Power Automate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the flow that we will be going through for the in-class workshop, which is a precursor to assignment 1, where you will create a similar automation through Power Automate, which is a Microsoft product and one of the top providers of RPA solutions to the enterprise. The advantage of Power Automate is that it connects into other Microsoft products like Excel. I'm going to first provide an overview of what the flow, how to break that down, and then I'm going to actually show you how to build the automation in Power Automate. The idea is that you'll go through this video before the class and get comfortable with it, even try it out at home. And then you'll be given time in class to work with your teams, your groups that you've selected to actually create the automation. And that will put you in a great position for the assignment next week. Let's start with a breakdown of actually what we'll be trying to achieve with this. So the objective of this is to work through the initial issues that you may have. So for example, if you use Microsoft Edge, you'll have access to Copilot, which will help you kind of debug things. We're not going to use Copilot in the walkthrough because you can see how easy it is to just set it up straight up. And the idea here is just to kind of get comfortable with the technology. It can be daunting to look at that. One of the other reasons to use Power Automate, has the access to AI functionality to help you debug things. I have to emphasize the huge overlap between what we're doing in this workshop and the actual assignment itself. Also during the tutorial, what we'll also work through is to look at RPA in the context and light of generative AI and to understand how, as an emerging technology, RPA still has a place in the tools that businesses will use to automate tasks. And it also is a different avenue to execute things. So for example, not everything needs to be solved through generative AI. You can use RPA to do that as well. This is taken from the assignment here. You can see the flow here. So I've put it into the slide here so we can work through this so you have a mental model on how to break this down when it comes to this type of exercise. So the first thing is that what you can see here is that you have to identify what is the input. So in here is the input here is the spreadsheet that you can download from the Learn site. And that is the input. That's the first thing we're going to do is actually set up the spreadsheet, upload it to OneDrive before doing anything else. So that way through Power Automate, you can access that spreadsheet and actually start the automation there. The second thing is that there is a certain logic here. We just want the expenses that belong to the finance department, which is a text-based logical input. There's an optional exercise in class for you to do that out of interest, to also do a second pass, which is to look at expenses above a certain threshold, which is $5,000. But that's if there's time, and that's optional. And it's just a good additional thing to get that understanding of what is RPA capable of in case you need to use it in your future work terms. The last part is the output. You're trying to send emails out to the controller, which you will specify the email in the Excel spreadsheet, as I will show you. So the input, what we need is the Excel spreadsheet. We're going to look at the logic, which relates to sending expenses related to the finance department. And we're going to send an email to the controller, which is going to be your own email, right, in this exercise. So let's get started. So make sure you're using the University of Waterloo account to upload to the OneDrive there so that you can then find that spreadsheet in terms of when you're trying to look for it in Power Automate. So I'm just going to upload my spreadsheet into here. So what we want to do is make sure that the controller email, I've added this to spreadsheet. It's blank in the document you're downloading from the Learn site. It doesn't have this in here. So what we want to do is make sure that this email is assigned for all the employees there, because that way it will send an individual email once we assign it just for the finance department. So the idea is that it's only going to go to the finance department. Anyone else outside of finance will not get this email. Now, the other thing we need to do is when we get into the spreadsheet is we need to define this table. We need to label this table, and then we'll be able to see the table actually in Power Automate. And you can see that it changes a color there. And what we can do is we can give it a name. So here it's labeled table 1, so you might want to give it a name. So that's all we have to do with the Excel spreadsheet. It's in OneDrive. We've labeled the table, and now we are ready to work with our automation. So to get to Power Automate, we have the URL. So now that we've set up our spreadsheet, we are now ready to work on our actual automation. We're going to create this from scratch, and we're not going to use the Copilot, though that is possible to use. But this way, for the purposes of instructions, you can see how easy it is actually to build this without using the AI functionality. And there's also a tendency for it to be random. As you can see here, this one on the right was generated through Copilot, where the one on the left was done manually from end to end. You get the same result, but you get a little bit of variability. And this is one of the challenges with using LLMs, is that there is a non-deterministic element to it that is unlike Excel spreadsheets or regular code, where one set of actions leads to one set of outcomes. One prompt can result in many different types of output, as I'm sure you've experienced using ChatGPT. So let's work with an instant Cloudflow. We're going to do a manual trigger. And so the first step, as when we refer back to here, is to list the rows present in the table. And so now that we've set up our, we've uploaded the file, the Excel file, to OneDrive, we can now access it from that OneDrive account. So that's why it's important to kind of do this ahead of time, just so that you can proceed smoothly with the automation there. And so you know when you've done this right if you can see your actual expense report there. You may have to refresh the page or other things you have if you haven't done it in advance. You know, research your browser or things like that just to make sure you can see it. I'm going to hit save just to make sure nothing happens to what we've built. If you have not logged in before, you may have to log in. You can see I've logged in already and that everything's ready to go for me. So if you add new, you can sign into a different account, and this is the way to initialize the connection between Power Automate and Excel and Outlook that you will be using to run this automation, as we discussed in the overview. So now let's go back and look at what we have in here, so we can see that the next thing we have to do is apply to each, because we want to apply to each is we'll go through each row systematically when trying to apply this condition of only sending the approval request for the expenses associated with the finance department. We're going to use the bolt here, which will give you dynamic values. You don't have to code anything. It's just effectively a drop down. What it's doing here is it's going through the Excel row by row, and that's what it's going to apply the logic to. And so now we got to search for the condition. Again, we're going to use the dynamic context here. What we're pulling from, as you can see, we're pulling from the different values that are in your spreadsheet. And this is kind of the amazing part of this, where it can quote unquote see what is going on with your table. And we're going to set that to finance. Now, the best practice is to actually just copy and paste it from your So now that we've set our condition, now we have to tell it what to do with that condition. For the purpose of this exercise, we have to look at we're just going to look at the true side, which is to send an email. So click the send email V2. There's different options there, but this is the right one to pick. So what's cool about this one here is that you want to switch to advanced mode so you have access to the dynamic field. So here it will automatically put the email in here. Now, of course, for this assignment, you could just put your own email in here, but this is the real power of the automation, where it'll automatically pick things in your spreadsheet to do that. And I'm hoping this will generate some ideas in what you can do when you go back to the workplace. We can also create a dynamic field here where we can specify which employee this is for. And now we're going to specify the body. So I have my email all ready to go here. And now we're going to use the dynamic field to put the different items in there. And then you can sign to whatever signature you want to sign here. And so as we have set in here in this Excel spreadsheet, this should be going to your own email address so you can see this email coming back to you. So looks like your flow is ready to go. So we're going to hit test. So if we're getting the check marks, that means that we have got this to work, and we can now check our email to see if we actually got the emails. So as you can see in here that we have one quick way to check is to see, to make sure that all the ones you received are only from finance. So we can say there's finance. And if, let's go back to our spreadsheet quickly. Let's filter for finance and make sure there's 4. And so we have 4. So we see that the automation has worked. And this is a walkthrough of that. So the goal here is for you to review this video, try this out at home so you can hit the ground running when we get into class. You can work through with your team members and complete this. We'll see you in class later this week.